Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of Joshua. Today we're going to begin looking at Joshua chapter 22. Now the conquest is essentially over. Israel has taken possession of the promised land, and they have divided the land among the various tribes. And now in chapter 22, as things are beginning to move toward settling down into what will be the life of Israel, there's almost a civil war. Almost, but not quite. They do avoid it. But this almost civil war comes about on the basis of a misunderstanding. Now, how did this misunderstanding occur? What was the setting that led them to come almost to civil war among the Israelites? Well, let's begin to read chapter 22 and we'll find out. Now, Joshua summoned the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. And he said to them, "You have done all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you. You've obeyed me in everything that I commanded you. For a long time now, to this very day, you have not deserted your fellow Israelites. You've carried out the mission that the Lord your God gave to you. Now that the Lord your God has given them rest, as he promised, you may return to your homes in the land that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you on the other side of the Jordan." All right, now Joshua is speaking to three tribes, the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. Now remember, Manasseh was such a large tribe, there really were two half-tribes. And one of the half-tribes, along with the Reubenites and the Gadites, had asked several years before if they could have their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan River. Before they crossed the Jordan to begin taking possession of the promised land, they had asked Moses, "Can we have our possession here in the land of Gilead on the east side of the Jordan?" Remember, they'd already taken that land. And Moses told them, "Yes, you can. This can be your tribal possession. Your territory will not be in the promised land proper. It will be here in Gilead on the east side of the Jordan." However, he said, even though you've already gotten your land, you must go with your brother tribes. Your armed men must travel with them to take possession of the promised land. You must help them in the conquest. And then you may return to your inheritance. Your families will stay here in Gilead on the east side of the Jordan, but your armed men will go into battle with your brothers until you take all of the land. And then you may return to your possession on the east side of the Jordan. That was the promise made, about 8 years before. Now that the conquest is complete, the land is under control, Joshua calls them together, Reubenites, the Gadites, half-tribe of Manasseh, says, "You have fulfilled everything you said you would do. You've been faithful, you've been loyal, you've been obedient, you helped your brothers take the land. Now, you may return across the Jordan to your possession on the other side." That's the land called Gilead. Now, in today's geography, that of course is the country of Jordan. But then it was part of Israel. It was the land of Gilead. So these 2.5 tribes, the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, are praised for their loyalty to the covenant. They've done what they said they would do. Now they can return home. However, it's in their return that sets the occasion for the misunderstanding. Okay, verse 9. So the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, they left the Israelites at Shiloh in Canaan to return to Gilead, their own land, which they had acquired in accordance with the command of the Lord through Moses. So they're going back to their homeland now across the Jordan River. Now comes the misunderstanding. When they came to Geliloth, near the Jordan in the land of Canaan, the Reubenites, the Gadites, the half-tribe of Manasseh, built an imposing altar there by the Jordan. And when the Israelites heard that they had built the altar on the border of Canaan at Geliloth, near the Jordan on the Israelite side, the whole assembly of Israel gathered at Shiloh with the intention to go to war against them. So the Israelites sent Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, to the land of Gilead, to Reuben, to Gad, to the half-tribe of Manasseh. With him they sent 10 of their chief men, one from each of the tribes of Israel. each the head of a family division among the Israelite clans. All right, the 2.5 tribes, Gad, Reuben, half tribe of Manasseh, they're going home. But before they cross the Jordan River to their land, the land of Gilead, they build an altar to the Lord. A huge, imposing altar to the Lord. Well, okay, we think that they build an altar to the Lord. And then they cross the Jordan. Well, when the rest of the Israelites hear they've built this altar, they are incensed. And the rest of Israel, the other tribes, say, let's go to war against them. We're going to make war against the half tribe of Manasseh, against Gad, and against Reuben, because they've built an altar. And so they prepare for war. However, they do make a wise decision. They say, listen, before we start the war, let's at least send a delegation to find out what's going on. And so they send Phinehas. This is the son of Eleazar, who is the high priest. Phinehas, of course, is also the grandson of Aaron. They send representatives of each of their tribes to ask Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh, why have you built the altar? They're ready to go to war. The civil war among Israel is about to begin. But first they send a delegation asking, why did you do this? Why have you built an altar? We're on the occasion of a civil war in Israel. But it's over a misunderstanding. In tomorrow's session, we're going to look at why they built the altar, why the other tribes are so upset about it, how it almost produced a war, and then how they resolved the issue. So that'll be for tomorrow's session. So join us next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the book of Joshua.